Hey guys, how's it going? It is Radlin Mendoza and my daughter, Sami Gardner. And John is over here. He's standing over here. Not in frame yet. There's his hand. So I know no one's on yet, but the show goes on at 6:03. Anyhow, we have a very special song to play for you guys. So I've been begging Sami to play for our Facebook Live for the past 7 months. So finally got her to, it has been 7 months. Finally got her to agree to play. So she's gonna kind of warm us up a little bit and play a song for you guys. Sami, do you want to introduce the song?
Okay, this is Kyoto by Phoebe Bridges. Pretty upbeat.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Phoebe Bridges while I share this video.
I don't really know too much. I just like her songs. So.
Okay, you just like her songs. That works. That totally works. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, go for it. I think we're good to go. Yeah, let's go. Thank you, Sami.
Right.
I'll stop talking now.
Okay, this is Kyoto by Phoebe Bridges. Day off in Kyoto, got bored at the temple, looked around at the 7-Eleven. The band took the speed train and went to the arcade. I wanted to go, but I didn't. You called me from a payphone, they still got payphones. It costs $1 a minute to tell me you're getting sober, and you wrote me a letter, but I don't have to read it. I'm gonna kill you if you don't beat me to it. Dreaming through Tokyo skies, I wanted to see the world. Then I flew over the ocean and I changed my mind. Sunset's been a freak show, like on a weekend, so we drove out to the suburbs to park at the Goodwill and stare at the chemtrails with my little brother. You said you called on his birthday, you were off by like 10 days. You get a few points for trying. Remember getting the truck fixed when you let us drive it. 25 felt like flying. I don't forgive you, but please don't hold me to it. Born under Scorpio skies, I wanted to see the world through your eyes, but then it happened, and I changed my mind. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm
All right, Sami, you're way more popular than Dan and I are when we're doing our Facebook
That's
Live.
right,
Should we do an encore song? No, our encore song. All right. Well, I'm not gonna push our luck. Thank you so much for playing. How great is Sami, guys?
No,
Thank you guys for listening.
Totally awesome. Thanks, Sam. Okay, sorry everyone, you're gonna get a downgrade here when I take this seat.
That was awesome. That's gonna just pump us up for Facebook Live tonight. Fantastic.
All right.
How's it going, everyone? Thank you guys for watching Sami sing. She's pumped up also about her singing and
how's everyone
her
doing
guitar
out there?
playing. And yes, it's hot up on this 3rd floor tonight. Yeah?
Okay,
We good?
I think we're good now. Yeah,
I like that adjustment.
Well, you know,
That was
all
that was a
happening.
close up.
yeah, it's all in
It's
real
all
time
yeah,
here.
it's all happening in real time here. It's,
How's that?
It's
Okay.
all live.
We had a guest, and so we had to change it up a little
Yes,
bit.
yes, right.
And we're still in frame. We're fine.
We're in frame. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we already have a question, but before we get to our questions today, I just want to Welcome, everyone. I'm Radlin Mendoza, and this is my husband and law partner, John Gardner, and we are attorneys at Gardner Mendoza. And we also started the law firm 20 years ago, but that's a minor point, right? I mean, we're lawyers, and we're here to answer your questions tonight. And we're going to talk about immigration. We're going to talk about state court updates. And most importantly, we're going to talk about your questions. Hopefully you have them.
If you have questions, make sure you post them. We already have one, but if you're just getting on, make sure you get those in the comment section there, and we'll try to get them answered for you, okay? Although I have to give a disclaimer. Everything we do here is for informational, educational purposes. It is not technically legal advice.
It's not legal advice.
Not legal advice.
Not even, I don't, what's the technically, but it's just not legal advice. All right.
All right.
All right, cool.
So you want to go to that question real quick, or you want to talk about...
Well, wait a minute. Before we get to that question, I think we have a brag session that you want to talk about here.
Very briefly, yes. Since we have some questions that are already coming on.
And it's going to be a good segue into this.
Yes, that's right. So we like to, for our brag session, we normally read a comment from one of our clients that they've posted, a review from one of our clients. But tonight, we're going to briefly just say that we are really proud to have been selected by Coastal Virginia Magazine as best immigration lawyers in Hampton Roads.
Yay!
Yeah, this is our fifth year with this honor, and we're really, really proud of it because, well, one of the reasons we're proud of it is because these nominations come from other attorneys. And so it's especially nice to be recognized by our colleagues in the area as, the go-to firm for immigration issues. And we're really happy about that. So
absolutely.
Congratulations to our team. Thanks to all the attorneys that nominated and voted for us. And thanks to Coastal Virginia Magazine for doing this every year. It's a really cool thing.
And I'm going to miss the reception. They're not going to have a reception, but the Coastal Virginia reception is pretty awesome.
Yeah, they always put on really fantastic
great food, great venue. Mm-hmm. We're going to miss it this year. I mean,
yes, and I think one of our colleagues that asked a question, one of the first questions we have
is from a colleague.
Yep,
yes.
and we've seen her at these
everywhere
at these receptions.
She's at the reception. She's at other things. She is an amazing attorney, and she has a great question. Let's go to it. Let me go to the page here. What did I do with it? Okay. So the question, and it's gone already. See, this is why I cut and paste the question.
Good thinking.
Yeah, the question is from one of our colleagues who is a criminal defense attorney, and her name is Jamila LaCruz, and she's an awesome lawyer. And we met her many years ago. I think when she was working for the Public Defender's Office, right?
I think when we first met, she was with the Norfolk Public Defender's Office. So it was a long time ago.
And now she's not. She's doing her own thing. And tons of great stuff for the community. And if you Google her, you'll see she's all over the place doing great things. Anyway, her question is, how hard is it to withdraw a petition for citizenship if you are the sponsoring spouse? Excuse the wrong terminology. If a client files the petition and the spouse needing the green card files criminal charges against the sponsoring spouse, it doesn't sound good. Can the spouse withdraw the petition for this reason? If so, what is the process and how long does this take? So I'm going to speak very generally here. Hopefully this is not one of my clients. I'm sure it's not. But what Jamila is asking is if a U.S. citizen, or maybe it's even a permanent resident can also file an I-130 petition for their spouse. But let's just say if a U.S. citizen files an I-130 for their spouse in order for that spouse to get the green card, it's commonly called the marriage adjustment process. If they're doing it here in the United States, adjustment of status from whatever status they're in to that of a lawful permanent resident, and therefore the green card. How does the U.S. citizen spouse or the lawful permanent resident spouse withdraw that I-130 petition when this marriage is no longer working out? They no longer want to proceed with the petition. They no longer want to do this case. And so essentially, it's very easy. And I don't think you have to have a reason for it. If the I-130 petitioner wants to just withdraw, they can withdraw. And that is simply by sending a letter to USCIS where they filed the petition asking to withdraw the petition. It's extremely easy to withdraw. So I hope that answers your question, Jamila. If you have any other questions, yeah, permanent resident is the client. So the permanent resident filing this can just write a letter to USCIS and pull the plug if it's not going to work. Now, I will say that if there's any chance that this couple is going to stay together or reconcile, or if there's anything else that can be done, they may want to think about doing that, because of course if they do stay together, then that petition is withdrawn. And then if down the road they file another petition, it's fine that they file another petition, but the fact that it was withdrawn previously will definitely come up in an interview, and they would have to explain the circumstances and what happened and all that stuff. So something to think about.
Yep. All right. If you have any follow-ups, or if anyone has any clarification they want on that, just put the questions in there. And I should mention, we always try to mention this at the end, but I'm going to mention it now, that we monitor this after we're done. So if you think of something later, put it in the questions, and we will continue to look at them and get some answers back to you. All right?
Yes.
So we're happy December, by the way.
Yes, it's December
2nd. Yes. The cold is finally here. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. I will tell you, I grew up in northern Ohio, so I'm scarred by the cold winters. So I don't love the cold weather anymore. I think I got my fill of it in my first 18 years of life, and that was enough.
But we've got the winter solstice coming up, right?
We do. That's right. We've got all kinds of neat stuff. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I mean, we've got the winter solstice coming. That's December 21st. For those of you who are into this kind of stuff, by the way, that's when we have the longest night and the shortest day. So after December 21st, the days start getting longer and longer, just a little bit each one, but they do start getting longer and longer. That's over the hump there. And of course, we have Hanukkah, we have Christmas, and a lot of other holidays. So it's just tis the season.
Tis the season. New Year's Eve.
That's right.
Sammy's birthday, our daughter who just played, she's going to be 15 on Monday.
That's right.
Monday? Yes.
Monday.
My sister's birthday, day before, on
our
the
daughter
6th.
who just played. Okay, so we have another question that just came in. So before we get to the state court updates and the driver privilege card information, let's go ahead and see if we can answer this one.
This is an interesting question.
Yeah, it says, hi, if my marriage is not recognized in the Philippines, what last name should I apply when I get a Philippine passport? My naturalization is my spouse's, as well as my U.S. passport and dual citizenship.
Okay, so
Hi, Robin.
Robin, how's it going? One of the best teachers in Virginia Beach here, guys, is on our line. Yes,
Beach.
Absolutely. Robin, hopefully you were on and you you watched your student play a stringed instrument. Nevertheless, it's a guitar.
You're gonna have to go back. You can go back, Robin, and start it from the beginning later.
Yes, because it was awesome.
And watch your star violist,
Yeah.
who has moved on to other instruments now.
Yeah, vocal, piano. Anyway, she had a great education with Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
The viola laid the groundwork for all of it.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Always start with the classical training. Okay,
question.
sorry about that, guys. Okay.
Got sidetracked.
We gotta say hi to these people who are coming on. We haven't seen them, and
I know.
This woman had a beautiful baby. We haven't seen the baby, and it's just exciting to see you guys. All right.
Yeah, we miss you too.
So the first question I have about this question is, why is the marriage not recognized in the Philippines? So I'd be curious to know about that. And it sounds like this person is applying for maybe dual citizenship in the Philippines. I'm not quite sure. My naturalization is my spouse's, as well as my U.S. passport, and dual citizenship. Oh, okay, I see. So already a naturalized U.S. citizen, and she has. We're assuming it's a she. We'll just say they. We'll just say the they. They have the spouse's last name on it, which is now their last name, on their U.S. passport, as well as their Philippine dual citizenship paperwork. So what is the name that should be used on the Philippine passport application? Now, this is going to be definitely more in line with the rules of the issuing country, of the country that's issuing the passport, which is the Philippines. As you know, a U.S. immigration lawyer, with all of your names that are in your spouse's name and all of your documents, I would say, as a U.S. immigration lawyer, that if you need to get your marriage recognized in the Philippines, since it's not, and apply for that Philippine passport in the name that you have used for all these other very important documents. So I hopefully that answers your question to your satisfaction. It might not be a satisfactory answer for you, maybe one that you don't like, but because it is going to take there are going to be additional steps. But that's just from a U.S. immigration lawyer's point of view of, okay, what name should I apply for my Philippine passport? All of my other documents are in this name, which is my married name, which is not, for whatever reason, recognized in the Philippines. So I would find out about, why it's not recognized, how do you get your marriage recognized, and then go from there and have all of the last names the same on all of the important documents. All right, but great question.
All right. And I want to say hi to my Aunt Sue, who I just saw was on. She asked if Sammy could play again. Sorry, Sue.
It was hard to get her up here.
She has exited stage left already.
Yeah, for sure.
But you can replay the live later.
She's definitely not coming back. She loves to play though. She does, and hopefully maybe she'll come back next week. Or maybe we could just do a private concert with Sammy and Sue.
Okay, we have
another one. Hello, Miss Kim. How are you? It's great to see you and your beautiful family. I saw that there is a new addition to the family from your Facebook. That's awesome. Congratulations. Hope you guys are doing well.
That's so exciting.
This question, let me just paste it in case it goes away, but here's the question.
So I'll read the question. How's that? You answer
I
it.
love that.
I'm a green card holder, and when they sent me my renewed Philippine passport this August, middle name in the green card is different in my passport. Everything matches except my middle name, and will I have difficulty entering is when I come back from the Philippines. All right.
Very good question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say probably not. So I'm curious about this, Miss Turner. I want to see these documents. Send them to me after this Facebook Live. So I don't think you're going to have a problem coming into the United States if there is a different middle name on your Philippine passport. If your lawful permanent resident has a name and then your Philippines passport has a different middle name. So I'm going to try to explain this. We'll just use my name as an example, and not, well, no, we can't do that since I didn't change it. Okay, let me just say. So in the Philippines, let's say someone's name is Kim De Leon Mendoza. Okay, that's their name. So Kim De Leon Mendoza. Kim being the first name, De Leon being the mother's maiden name as their middle name, and Mendoza being their last name, their father's name. When you come to the United States, Filipinos always want to, and then they get married, so the Filipinos will always, not always, but most of the time, the Filipinos will want to remove the middle name, scoot their father's last name, their last name into as the middle name, and then add the husband's name. So in this case, and these are totally made up names, by the way, except Kim and Turner.
Right.
Kim, so it would then be Kim De Leon Turner. That would be the name on the lawful permanent resident card. But the middle name on the Philippine passport, of course, is going to be something different. So anyhow, I don't feel like I explained that very well, but the fact of the matter is that the names get jumbled when you get married, and you have to keep your middle name on your birth certificate. You can't just take your father's last name. You can't move it
to your middle
right
name.
unless you legally change the name, which we can help with. But most people want to just wait until they become naturalized U.S. citizens to do that. But anyhow, Ms. Turner, I will happily take a look at that. Right. And I don't think you're going to have a problem, because this is a very common issue in names, especially from the Philippines. So.
And say hi to Alex is on.
Yes, Alex, the baby. Mm-hmm. The baby must be.
That's my brother right there.
The baby
my
must be asleep.
Brother.
The baby must be asleep because both of the parents are on. And I mean, I'm sure this is what they want to watch, is like immigration stuff. And Denisa is on.
Oh,
bestie from law school.
This has got to be, yes, the oldest friend that we have on here now. That's pretty impressive. Denisa, how are you?
Yes. So awesome. She said that I look like a teenager in that photo, but I don't. So
photo?
I think there must have been a filter on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little scary to see someone like Denisa on the Facebook Live, though, because she knows a lot.
She knows too much. she knows way too much. We love you too, Denisa.
Mwah, love you. Oh, man.
Okay.
You look amazing, too, by the way.
Yeah,
all right.
we will... We need to hook up at Gonzales y Gonzales sometime, okay?
Like, that place is probably closed. No, Bob's. Okay,
Bob's, that's right.
Let's get to our immigration topics.
Okay, yeah. Moving on.
Do you have any state court updates?
Well, the only state court update that I have is just, I always want to remind people of two things. One is that you need a mask, and the other is that you can't take your phone into the courtrooms, into the courthouse, okay? So if you have a phone, leave it in the car. Otherwise, you're going to have to put it in the locker. And make sure, oh my gosh, Bob's is open. And make sure that you have a mask, because all the courthouses in the area right now, you have to have a mask to go in. Some of them are taking temperatures, some are not. All of them are asking you the standard questions. If you have any symptoms of COVID, if you've traveled outside the country in the last 14 days, whether you've been asked to self-quarantine in the last 14 days, or whether you've had any close contact with anyone who has exhibited COVID symptoms or has been asked to self-quarantine, all right? So other than that, bring your mask, bring your phone. Everything is on schedule. Everything is full steam, with the exception of some jury trials in federal and state courts. The jury trials have been suspended in some places, delayed indefinitely in others. So just keep track of that. But most of you don't have any involvement in a jury trial, so you don't need to worry about that. If you've got your run-of-the-mill reckless driving or something, just plan on being there and take a mask. All right? And somebody had asked, just to throw this out here, I mean, we know Christmas is December 25th. Hanukkah is December 10th through December 18th. I don't know why somebody wanted to know that, but I wanted to give
Someone asked that as a Facebook question?
Yeah, December 10th to the 18th. Okay?
Did you just look that up, or how do you know that?
Well, I already knew it.
Wow. Look at that.
Well, I mean, I have it. No, I have it written down.
Well, I know, but you wrote it down.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes, absolutely.
I can't believe Bob's is still open.
I can't believe Bob's
Can
is
you
still
imagine
open.
us at Bob's now?
Well,
all right, I think we need to end the live right now. Jeez. I'm just flustered right now. I'm very flustered.
For one thing, we wouldn't be able to stay awake long enough to get to Bob's, because I think Bob's opened at like 3 a.m. or something.
No, it did. It did not. It did not.
Okay, 2 a.m. Okay, anyway, moving on.
So
let me talk about the driver privilege card real quick as well. Another reminder here, I talk about this every week. On January 1st, 2021, that's coming up very soon now, all right? Virginia's new law is going to go into effect, which will allow you to get a driver privilege card in Virginia regardless of your immigration status, okay? All you'll have to be able to show is that you can pass the driving test, that you can pass the written knowledge test, that you have insurance, and that you have earned income in the Commonwealth of Virginia in the prior 12 months, and that you have reported that income on a tax return. So if you've lived here and worked here, but you never filed taxes, then you want to make sure to do it yourself or contact us and we can help you with it. you're going to need to get an ITIN, an individual tax ID number, so that you can retroactively go back and file those taxes for that income. You may have to pay tax or penalties and interest and so forth, but it'll be worth it in the long term, okay, to have this driving privilege card. Because if you're driving all the time right now and you're driving without a license, obviously you're always in jeopardy of getting pulled over. It's a Class 2 misdemeanor in Virginia to drive without a license, which carries a maximum of 6 months in jail. So it's a dangerous thing to do. All right. If I have a minute, I want to also mention there are 3 categories that we've sort of come up. They're not official categories, but
You do have a minute for sure.
they're my
Very
categories
important.
about who should consider doing this, because it's not for everyone, regardless of what your immigration status is. All right. Because let me put it this way, the first category, if you are already on immigration's radar, maybe you're on an immigration bond, or you have a hearing coming up in 2023, whatever, then you have no risk in doing this at all, because immigration already knows who you are, they already know where you live, they already know what your status is, okay? Those folks should go ahead and do this, absolutely do this, because there's no risk at all. If you are not on immigration's radar, and by that I mean you've been here a while working, but you know for a fact that you have never had any problems with immigration. They don't even know that you're here at all, but you drive every day, say for work. I think you also should do it because you're at very low risk of having a problem, and you drive every day. The risk of getting pulled over is greater than the risk of having an immigration problem. The group of people that I caution to maybe not do this are the folks out there, some of you who maybe feel like you are on immigration's radar, but not officially in terms of, you don't have a hearing, you're not on a bond or anything like that. You just know that you had something happen with immigration. Maybe you never showed up for a hearing. Maybe you had a hold on you at the jail, but no one got you, so you got released. But you're pretty confident that at some point immigration was looking to talk to you or wanted to talk to you or did talk to you and nothing happened. I would be careful if you're in that group, because I suspect that ICE will share and comb the databases that the DMV has, despite any promise that they're not going to do that, and any promise from DMV that they're not going to share the information. I think it's likely that the information will get shared, and so I would be careful if you're in that category. You may not want to do this because you may just put yourself right at the top of the list, and now ICE knows exactly where you're living, and they show up will be clear. Okay?
Right.
So I'm not telling, I'm not counseling people to break the law. I don't want anyone to misunderstand, but I am counseling folks that are in that category to consider whether it's worth the risk or not, and it may not be. Okay?
Right.
That's my driver privilege card spiel.
And this is going to be a very important and very helpful benefit to so many families in Virginia. And if you are in that third category and you think, gosh, I don't know, there could be something out there, we can do a FOIA request to the different agencies to see if there's any information that comes up about you before you make this decision to apply for the Virginia privilege card. So that's an option as well. The issue with the FOIA is sometimes it can come back amazingly fast, but sometimes it can come back in a really, really long time. So many, many months before we get a response or a reply. So that would be the only disadvantage there of having to wait. But if there is a concern, but you really want to apply for the driver privilege card and you know it's going to help your family, then it's worth the wait.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And those of you in that category, you know who you are. You know that, maybe you got arrested, but they jumbled the names up on the paperwork, and so the prints would match, but the name doesn't match, and that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Those of you in this category, you know what I'm talking about. I'll leave it at that. Okay.
Okay, so we have another comment here from Ms. Turner, which I want to read because it's kind of funny. She says, "Thank you, by the way, Attorney Radlin Mendoza, for helping me with my green card and for coming with my family during my interview at USCIS. You're so fun." Now, has anyone ever called an immigration interview fun? No, but Ms. Turner had a good time. Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you. You guys are fun too. I think I was fun because you guys are fun. So the immigration interview, they're pretty nerve-wracking for our clients, and so that's a big compliment for me that someone called the interview fun. I mean, it can be. Like I said, it does depend on the immigration officer. It depends on the clients and how prepared they are and how much documentation they have as well. And, you know, a lot goes into it. But thank you for that compliment. It means a lot. All right. Any more on the driver privilege?
No. Well, I should just say that if you have any questions about it, please reach out to us. If you want help with it, please reach out to us. You can email directly. You can email me directly. Excuse me. My email is jcg@gmlaw.net. Again,
Put that in the comments.
jcg@gmlaw.net. You don't need an attorney to do this. I mean, you can certainly do this on your own. But if you have any concern about it, you need help with it, I'm sure it'll go a lot more smoothly if we help you. But I understand if folks, want to do it on their own, you're more than welcome to do it. I can still point you in the right direction. Oh, the one thing I did want to mention about all of this, I'm sorry, I forgot. Everything you do with DMV right now requires an appointment at DMV, and the appointments are totally backlogged because of COVID. So if you have any interest in doing this, you think you might do it, I would highly recommend that you log on to the DMV website in Virginia and schedule an appointment, because it's going to be, your appointment's going to be like in February, March, April, depending on where you go. I mean, they're setting these things out in months out, okay? So even if you think you might do it and you're not sure, I would recommend securing an appointment now. You can always cancel the appointment if you decide not to do it, all right? But get the appointment now. And a frequently asked question on this, you can go to any DMV in Virginia, it doesn't matter. So if you live in Norfolk, that doesn't mean you have to go to the Norfolk DMV. If you want to drive up to Alexandria or Arlington, you may be able to get a much faster appointment if you don't mind traveling. Okay, I've seen a lot more openings in those huge areas versus, say, somewhere small, like Hampton, for example, which is not tiny, but I just mean compared to like Alexandria.
Right.
All right.
Right. So I want to say hi to my aunt, Tita Adams, who now lives in Arizona. We miss you already.
Mm-hmm.
I know your siblings do too. And I
Yeah.
also saw Aunt Jill.
Oh, did she come on? Nice.
She did for a second, or maybe she may still be on. And Christian is here, our former intern.
Oh yeah.
Yes, how's it
Good to
going,
see you, buddy.
Christian?
Yeah, hi Jill. We have our aunts join us from Arizona, from South Florida. All the immigration states.
They want to know what's
they
going
do.
on with immigration. All right, so with regard to USCIS updates, immigration updates, I have a couple for you guys today. They recently changed their USCIS contact center, the format of it. And now when you call, there's something called the interactive voice response. We just heard about this, and it was reported by AILA, American Immigration Lawyers Association, of which we are members. And it's called the IVR system. So there's no pushing any buttons anymore to get to a place. You now have, it's voice activated. But you have to go through the system completely before reaching anyone live. So you can't, push the prompt that takes you directly to a live person. You kind of have to go through the whole system, which will take a little bit longer, but hopefully also weed out some questions that people who are calling and don't actually need a live officer, and keep those live officers for people who actually need them. So that's one big change. You're not going to immediately be able to talk to a tier 1 officer, but when you do, and if you do get to a tier 1 officer, one of the biggest changes is that attorneys, we're always asking for the tier 2 officer, right? We're just like, we need to talk to a tier 2 officer, we need to get connected to a tier 2 officer, but we can't do that anymore. You guys can't do that anymore either if you're asking for the tier 2 officer, which is, you're going to have more robust service, and they would be able to help you a little bit more. You basically explain your situation to the tier 1 officer, and if they think that it's urgent, then you will get a call back from the tier 2 officer within 24 to 48 hours. If they think it's just kind of regular, but you still want to talk to a tier 2 officer, then you will get a call back from the tier 2 officer within 7 days. So it's all, systematic, and they're trying to be more efficient. From our point of view, this is just another layer of technology where we can't talk to a live person, where we're waiting longer periods of time. I mean, I don't think that it's great, and it's going to just cause a lot of delays in getting answers as far as, what's going on with cases, backlogs. Anyhow, we'll see how it goes. They just announced this, and so it's very, very new. But Ayla did put out some tips for you and for us when we're calling the USCIS contact center, and I'm going to just read them to you guys. They're not my tips; these are tips from Ayla, and I'm not sure where these tips came from, whether USCIS told them that these are some suggestions, or whether these are from members from their observations. But they recommend that inquiries are attempted early in the week. So don't call on Friday, call on Monday or Tuesday. Don't leave urgent inquiries for Friday. So if it's an emergency, don't call on Friday. But that's why it's kind of an emergency, and you don't really control when an emergency happens. But anyhow, if it's urgent and you know about it on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, make the call on those days and not on Friday. And then the last one is to make sure your phone settings are not blocking unknown callers, as it may be USCIS calling. And that is true, because remember when we were at lunch and an ICE attorney called me, and it came from a block number, and I was just like, should I get this? Right. And then, I don't know, just instinct, for some reason I picked it up. I never ever pick up a block caller, and I did, and it was a ICE attorney, and we were able to settle something, and it was fantastic that I answered the call, and I'm glad that I did answer the call, but it was 50-50 there, 70-30. Yeah. Anyhow, so those are the tips. Any questions popped up?
No questions, but I would like to take this moment to send out a deep, warm, heartfelt, and loving greeting to our cousin Malou, who is on with us tonight. It's so nice to see you on, Malou. We love you so much, and we're so happy that you joined us tonight.
That was really overly sweet. Hey, cuz. I don't know what he's talking about, but glad you're on. Thanks for joining. So Rena, who has just joined us, or maybe she's been on, it's hard to tell. Rena, how's it going? Great to see you here. She says that USCIS called her with no caller ID. So yes, you definitely should take that setting off of your phone if you are trying to communicate with USCIS, because if you have a call and you're waiting on a call from a tier 2 officer and they're going to call you within 7 days, you got to have that thing just sort of velcroed to you and make sure you pick up every call, even though it's a spam call. Like, I got a Social Security call today. My Social Security number has been compromised. So give me your Social Security number. I also picked up a call today and it said, this is extremely important. We need to talk about your car warranty. So all these crazy calls.
I'm getting AARP calls now.
Well, that's not a spam call. That's because, that's because of your birthday.
Yes.
But anyway.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, Rumi's on here too. How's it going, Rumi?
Hey, Belle, how are you?
Yeah, how's that baby? How's that baby cooking going? Our cousin's daughter and our former Rumi is preggers, so we're super, super excited.
Yeah, a lot of really great stuff going on.
I know. Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Okay,
let's
so
see.
Any more questions?
I don't see any other questions, but I wanted to mention that the new civics test, naturalization civics test, is here. So if you did not apply for citizenship, if you haven't applied yet, you will be getting that new test. You don't have to really worry about the old test because, hopefully they'll take it down and it's not there anymore and the new test is up, and it's 128 questions, 28 additional questions. The format of asking these questions is a little bit different as well. They're going to ask you 20 questions instead of 10 at your interview, and we'll see how it goes. I'm sure if you can learn 100 you can learn 128. Absolutely. I have no doubt. Our clients are very, very smart.
Yeah. And the answers haven't changed.
They haven't changed. They're very old answers.
Very old answers.
I mean, think about our clients, right? Just think about our clientele and our client base. I mean, they've come to a country from wherever they're from. Well, just think about my parents, for example. I mean, they came from the Philippines, and knowing no one here and just navigating through all of it. So all of our clients who take the N400, that's just the easiest part, right? I know that it doesn't seem that way.
We already know that you all are amazingly resourceful.
Exactly.
And so you got
all
this.
Right. That's just, and I think that if some of our clients kind of look back and think about how they got here and what they had to do to get here and who they had to leave to come to the United States, and they look at the N400 like, this is not a big deal at all. This is easy. So anyhow, 128 questions. You guys would be good to go. Christian says, G&M taught me everything that I know about immigration law. Yay, Christian.
We really love when we see, this is really a fun thing. It happens fairly often for us when we see somebody who was an intern in our office, and then years later, they're out practicing law and crushing it. And then
he has 2 daughters. I mean,
really
he's
cool.
out there.
Yeah, it's totally awesome.
Building those plastic toys that you built for our little kids, and
I know.
He's in it. He's in it.
In it to win.
Yeah, we're super proud of you, Christian. Mm-hmm. Good job.
Good job.
All right, so let's see here. What else do we have going on? Let me see. Wait. Let me go back. Okay, this is big news for business immigration. There was a lawsuit, as we discussed a couple of weeks ago. The H-1B wages they actually did go up, but the U.S. District Court in Northern District of California, now this Northern District of California is extremely busy with regard to immigration and and ruling in our client's favor. They set aside the Department of Labor interim rule that would increase H-1B wages. So we are following this with regard to LCAs that were filed during this period. What's going to happen? Do we have to refile? And we will keep you guys up to date.
Yeah, just think about that. It's kind of an incredible thing when you think about it. Any one federal judge anywhere in the United States can issue an order that enjoins an entire law for the entire country until it goes through the appeals. And so yes, there's a little bit, depending on what side you're on and what the issue is, there's some forum shopping for sure. So yeah, we see a lot of these cases come out of the Northern District.
How many times have we said Northern District of California? We're very grateful for the District Court of the Northern District of California.
They help us quite a bit.
Right. So another part of this ruling is they set aside Department of Homeland Security regulations that were set to take effect on the 8th of this month, where they were going to completely revise the definition of specialty occupation in the context of H-1Bs, revising the definition of a United States employer. So this is very great news for the H-1B community and our employers and the employees as well.
Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed. Those cases get appealed. They go to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is also a friendly court for immigration issues, and so no problems there. It's the next hurdle that sometimes is a problem. It goes from this Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, all federal court of appeals, then go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is much more unpredictable.
Especially now.
So we really don't have a good feel for what the current makeup of the court is going to do with some of these immigration issues, because we just haven't really seen. We have a brand new justice, and it's going to take some time to sort of figure out where she will be on some of these issues and where the Chief Justice will go, if she goes one way or the other. We'll find out. Stay tuned.
John, so I'm not a big court decision watcher at all. Like I just want to know what they said, and that's what I'm going to work with. But there are other people out there who are just watching every twist and turn.
Every twist and turn, but it's kind of fun. It's a little bit of a hobby.
Yeah,
it's a hobby of mine.
John is more of a lawyer's lawyer. I'm the people's lawyer.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay, yeah. It's basically almost time to end this Facebook Live,
Yeah.
and I'm calling myself the People's Lawyer. Woo! All right, so couple of quick things. Public charge rule is on again. We all know that. We're still working through that. One of our attorneys, Dominique Sampson, he's going to be putting together a public charge video for. Hopefully the public charge rule is not going to be here for permanently, but it's going to be here for a while. So it's just so confusing to our clients as to why we need all this documentation. So we will be putting that video out within the next couple of weeks. So look out for that. And
and as the court watcher, as Radlin said, I would just say that again, ask clients to remember to be patient. That these things change, and what happens is something changes, and we have a new administration coming in, so things are going to change again. But every time something changes, then somebody files a lawsuit, and then it takes time. You get some judge rules, and then it has to go to a court of appeals, and then they have to rule. Then the Supreme Court has to agree to hear the case, and it takes time. Every one of these things takes time to work its way through the courts. And sometimes they don't even get resolved. Sometimes they send them back to lower courts and say, this part is unconstitutional, but this part wasn't, and retry it with this. It's we just watch it as closely as we can, and then we make sure that whatever the current situation is, that we do what's right for our clients under those circumstances. It's all we can do.
Absolutely. And the public charge rule flip-flop so much that if you're going to a green card interview, okay, and that the public charge does not apply to you because you filed before the effective date. I believe the effective date was before February 24th. Okay, that there are immigration officers out there that they have to be reminded of that date, because a couple of times with our attorneys, they've said, hey, well, you needed to have filed the public charge rule, the I-944. I'm like, no, we did not have to do that. And so we have to show, the receipts as to when it was mailed in and, all that. So if you get that from an immigration officer, no matter where you are in the United States, and that it does not apply to you, you have to kind of fight for it a little bit. It will be worth it, because the 944 is a real pain.
Yeah, and be careful. Maybe you're talking to somebody else, and they say, "Oh well, their neighbor didn't have to file that stuff." Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe they fell at a time when it wasn't on, and then when you did yours, it was on, and so you guys are in two different categories now in terms of the way that USCIS is adjudicating the matter. So it is what it is. All right.
Okay, I don't see any other questions,
All right.
and I really just want to end, and this is what John and I say every time, is if you have your case and you're ready to file it, our advice is to file your case. File it as soon as you possibly can, because the delays are just going to get worse. Who knows what's going to happen in the upcoming year. USCIS is, I think our director called it fiscal disaster, what's going on with regard to contractors, support. If someone quits at USCIS, they can't rehire. So I think it's just going to get a little bit slower. I mean, it's just going to keep grinding slower and slower. And then we've got the technology where they're trying to make things more efficient with technology. And it actually allows things to not go as quickly some of the times with some cases. So if you've got that I-130, the marriage adjustment, the K-1, your H-1B, whatever it is, your N-400, file your case. File your case.
Absolutely.
Get in line for USCIS to adjudicate that case. And we have been beating this drum. I know you guys are sick of hearing us talking about this, but it's on USCIS website. They're just going to have these massive delays, and it's there. It's in black and white. And so we have to heed the warning. You've got to file when you can. Okay.
Yep. All right, everyone. Well, it's a cool, wintry December night. Embrace the cold, embrace the love, and we will see you next Wednesday, same time, same place. All right.
Yeah.
Two
Two
thumbs
thumbs
up,
up, guys.
everyone.
Thank you so much for joining. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you have any more questions, put them in there. We will continue to monitor this, all right?
Absolutely.
Great seeing everyone. Have
All
a
right.
great night.
Bye.